Hey guys, welcome back. Today I thought I would share my top 5 tips for a perpetually organized home. Step 1 is knowing your style. And I know I've said this before, but I cannot tell you how important it is. You may be a visual organizer that has tried your whole life to follow a hidden organizing system. Or you may be like me, and even though you love the idea of a really complex and detailed organizing system, you're just never gonna use it. You're gonna set it down beside. So knowing your style, understanding whether you like things visual or if you like things put away really detailed, that's gonna make sure that whatever system you're using, you're actually going to have success with it. You're not gonna set up something and then have it just become a mess again in a week. So if you haven't already, take that free organizing test. I'm gonna put a link down below right now. Tip number 2 is no matter what your organizing style is, I really recommend starting with macro organizing. So micro organizing is a traditional way of putting everything in really detailed categories. So if you're doing your bathroom closet, maybe you would have one bin for antacids, one for pain reliever, one for allergy medication. I really recommend when starting out, no matter what your style is, to go with a macro system. You can always go back and make it perfect later, but sometimes the idea of perfection stops us from even getting started. We're gonna do it someday when we find the perfect system or the perfect inspiration, or we have the time to do it perfectly. And unfortunately, in the meantime, we're left with clutter and mess. So grab some baskets without lids and make big macro categories, label them, and do a quick sort. This is gonna really help you get a jump start on organization. And for me in my house, that's where organization stopped. I never got more detailed with my system, and that is exactly what works for me. Tip number 3 is totally to take advantage of the valuable real estate in your home. Almost every home that I visit that has a clutter problem, the real issue is that the homes for the stuff that's piling up is just too far away, or they don't have a home to begin with, or it's too complicated for the person to put away right away. So they're leaving it for later. A really simple solution is just creating a home for the stuff exactly where it tends to pile. And it might not be your ideal place. Maybe you wish your mail would go in the office, but it's always ending up on the kitchen counter. Put your mail sorting system right on the kitchen counter. If your kids are always throwing their dirty laundry on the floor in the middle of their bedroom, put the laundry basket right there where they normally pile it. If you have a pile of kids' artwork because you're unpacking their backpacks when they come in and it's just an ever-growing pile, have a simple basket for memories right there. And you can sort through it at the end of each school year. But for now, have a place, have a home for that stuff to go. This is totally the secret for cutting down clutter and your stress. You're just gonna feel so much better when things have a really easy, simple home to go. And you can do it by one trip to the dollar store. My next tip is to make sure you have like a donation center in your home. In my kids' closets, I have just a simple dollar store bin in every one of their closets. So if I come across something that doesn't fit them, instead of hanging it back up, which I used to do, or like putting it in the dirty clothes, it now goes in the donation bin. I also have a bin in our garage so I can just toss things in as I come across them instead of waiting and doing one whole big house purge. I don't know what it is about having a little donation center in your home, but it definitely not only inspires you to purge and declutter more often, but it lets go of any excuses that you have when you do come across items that you know you don't need to keep. My last tip is to have confidence in yourself. You're the expert of your own home. You know what works, you know what doesn't, and you know yourself and your family. So many times we're looking for inspiration elsewhere. We're hoping that we see a picture in a magazine or a YouTube video, and it's like your eureka moment of how you can finally organize your home and have it stay that way. But unfortunately, everybody's space looks different and everybody thinks a little different, and we have different stuff, and really we have to just make something that's unique to us and our own family. And it's great to try tips and ideas, but ultimately it is totally up to you. And you're like a home boss, you're an expert of your home. So have confidence and own it. And you might try and fail and try and fail and try and fail again. But I promise you, one day you're gonna wake up and take a look around and your home is gonna be way more in control than it is out of control. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and take a look around at your clutter hotspots and create homes for that stuff today. Don't overthink it, just macro organize it and move on. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, so thanks so much for those of you who have stayed to the end. So I wanted to give you an update on my ADHD situation. Some of you may know, I've mentioned it, but maybe you didn't watch that video, that I actually saw a specialist, talked to my doctor, and started medication for adult ADHD. And I'm taking like old school Ritalin, and I had like the lowest dose possible. And honestly, I noticed a little bit of a difference. I found that I was focusing a little bit more, but nothing that was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, until I ran out. And when I went to refill my prescription, my doctor was on holidays for a week. And it wasn't me that noticed, it was someone else who said to me, like, you're like a squirrel looking for a nut that they never buried. Just like, I kept saying, 1 minute and I'll get that to you. And then I went down the crazy hole, and then, oh, look at this, something shiny over here. And then I'm researching this thing, and then I read something else. And it was like 3 hours later, and I was like, yeah, 1 minute, I've totally got this in 1 minute. And that's what my life has been like my entire life. And that definitely doesn't go away with the medication that I'm on, but it's ridiculously better. So I wanted to chat about this because if you have squirrel syndrome, let's call it that, I was always totally against medication because, and I don't know why, it was the stigma attached to it maybe, or I thought it would change my personality. So I really resisted the idea of medication, but then I decided to just, you know what, give it a try. My doctor assured me that it's not addictive and I can stop it at any time. And it has improved the quality of my life. I feel slightly more focused. I'm exactly the same. I'm still a hot mess, but I feel slightly more focused. I find that I have a little bit more patience, especially for like boring people, small talk. I used to be, this is how bad, okay? So I would meet someone new and they would start like chatting about their life and their daughter and how their daughter loves soccer, and I would glaze over. And I didn't mean to be rude, but my skin was gonna crawl. Like I couldn't stand to hear this person say another boring word, and that's bad. Hard to make friends when you find everybody boring and you're just like, someone entertain me over here, I have ADHD. So I find it so much easier. This is so rude. I'm so rude, but I find it so much easier to actually have conversations with people without me getting angry and bored and distracted. And I find it easier to write, and I find it easier to just, yeah, sit and enjoy the moment, like, and not always just look over all the things. I hope I'm not alone, but I wanted to reach out to you because if you are a person who suffers from this, you know what? It makes us cool, and it makes us pretty, exciting and non-boring, but it doesn't change our personality either to try something that could help. So that's all. I'm putting it out there for you, for my fellow ADHD. You want to try something or you don't, totally cool and up to you. I just wanted to give you my own experience with it, with Ritalin. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.